those are all fine and dandy, but making some history for the right reasons, that's a great thing for the NFL. Now, let's get into our picks for this Super Bowl. I know I mentioned those gambling trends a moment ago. One more time, the Eagles right now are a 1.5 favorite. The over-under is set at 51 points. If you want to get all of our picks all in one place, make sure you go to our website, buttfumblesports.com, and sign up for that free newsletter. It'll come out Friday morning with all of our notes, trends, all of our picks all in one place. That said, Adam, how are you picking this Super Bowl between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles?
So this year in the playoffs has been really strange for me. Usually I have a team and I ride them, and I usually take them through the Super Bowl, and I have a pretty clear-cut vision of what I want to do. And this year has been completely opposite. I've been on the wrong side of Philadelphia. I've been on the wrong side of a couple teams, San Francisco. I've been doing really well with the player props, but this Super Bowl is really confusing to me because it opens up, as you mentioned, Kansas City favored, swung all the way to 2.5 Philly, now it's back to 1.5. And I've sat tight on this. I have a lean to Philly, mostly because their offensive line, like we talked about, has played really well. Their pass defense is number one in the league, and they're so extremely hard to move the football on. And to your point, I think they will stop Kelsey. I think they're going to force Mahomes to throw the football outside to Tony and ABS. And, with Edwards-Helaire back, that's a gain for Kansas City. But I don't think Mahomes will be 100%. But does that matter? I mean, he wasn't 100% against Cincinnati, and he gutted that one out, like you mentioned before. He's just absolutely incredible talent. Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback position. Philadelphia's pretty much rolled through these playoffs. Really haven't been tested. They rolled through the Giants, and they rolled through San Fran. On the other side of the coin, we talked about it. Kansas City has a lot of wide receiver injuries. They are 18th against the pass, and they really have a lack of running game. So, Kansas City isn't shy about dropping back and throwing the ball 50 times in this game, but because of the injuries of the wide receivers and the injury to Mahomes, I'm leaning towards Philly. I'm going to sit tight, and I probably won't lay anything on this game until Saturday or Saturday night to see if this line comes back. And what I'm hoping for is Kansas City wide receivers to be in and healthy and practicing, and I think this will drive the line back towards Kansas City. So I'm going to sit tight right now. I do like Philly, but the one thing that really is just makes me sick is the public. The public was 1-1 last the championship games. They were 1-1. They were on Philly and they were on Cincinnati, and Philly covered. Cincinnati obviously did not. But the public is 70% right now on Philadelphia with 52% of the over. Oh, man. I like Philly in this game for all the reasons that I mentioned. But, boy, I just do not like being on the side of the public, especially in the Super Bowl with that much money on this game. I've read that there's also going to be a record number of people betting on this football game now, especially with all the states that have added electronic gambling. This will be the highest bet Super Bowl of all time and almost double what it was last year. So there's a lot of action and stuff to be had in this game as people are trying, finding out about sports betting and sports handicapping. But like I said, I'm going to sit tight on this one until the end of the week and see where this line moves, and hopefully it'll move in Kansas City's favor where I can come back on Philly. But that 70% of Philly, the public on Philly, just really has me nervous about this football game.
Crazy amount of money that's being bet on this Super Bowl, obviously, as the country shifts its opinion about legalized sports betting, and it becomes more in favor in a number of states. Billions of dollars will be bet on the Super Bowl, and we haven't even gotten to the peak activity in the final 24 hours before the Super Bowl. That's when more money will be bet than almost any other time in the entire year. Obviously, that goes with World Cups and March Madness and everything else. So a ton of money is going to be bet. So to Adam's point, this is an early line betting show. We are taking our bets off of the information we have now, but definitely watch the line movement over the next few days, especially as we get closer to kickoff. Line movement, the amount of money that's going to come down, both in volume, but also in sharp money. You want to be really smart about how you place your bets. Watch those lines, take care of opportunities when they come out. That said, the Butt Fumble Sports pick for this one is Philadelphia on the money line. I do have the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. For me, it's about the better defense usually wins. Unlike the NBA, where usually the superstar wins, in the NFL, it's usually the better defense. The Eagles have the better defense. They have the better roster. They don't have the better quarterback, and they don't have the better head coach. So just like Adam, there's a part of me that has to swallow this a little bit because I don't feel great about it betting against Patrick Mahomes. But the Eagles are the better defense. They're the better roster. And for that reason, I do like Eagles on the money line. However, because betting against Patrick Mahomes is spitting into the wind, I am going to bet the Chiefs +3 after I buy a 1.5, just like Adam, I'm waiting to see how the public money shifts the trends and shifts the spread. I want to try and get the Chiefs at 4 or 4.5 if that were ever possible. Thus far, it hasn't been, but I do like Chiefs +3 right now. It's going to be a tight game between these two, so I want to find a way to get Patrick Mahomes. 3 is as good as I can get right now, so I'll take it. And as for the total, I love the under in this one. I'm going to buy the 1.5 like Butt Fumble Sports always does, but under 52.5 is definitely my favorite play of this game. 13 Super Bowls have had an over-under of 50 points or more. In those 13 Super Bowls, the under is 9, 3, and 1. These are two teams that I don't think are going to score the kind of points that are being projected. I think the Eagles defense will play a little bit better than people think. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs defense actually plays a little bit better than people think. So I love the under in this one. That's definitely my favorite bet of this game. But once again, the Butt Fumble Sports pick of the game is Philadelphia on the money line, Kansas City to cover after you buy a 1.5, and the under after you buy a 1.5. Blease, what's your take on this game? Who do you have winning the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and Eagles?
Yeah, I love your play of the under. I really think it's going to be under too. I guess the only thing that would make me nervous is Sirianni being braggadocio and maybe like laying it on if he's scoring at will on that offense. But I do like them running the ball. I think they're going to try to keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands and just run it down their throat. And I don't see Kansas City really stopping that. I was begging the Bengals to run a lot more. I feel like that defense, you can run on them a lot more and run right at Chris Jones, and don't let Chris Jones, wind up against Jalen Hurts. Because something about Jalen Hurts, maybe Sirianni's got his confidence and a little bit of swagger in him, but I've just felt like even in college, like he just looked like uncomfortable in those big games and just didn't look like he could be himself. And like I don't know, he's the wild card for me. It's like, is he gonna show up in this game and like make those big plays? Because like you're saying, Patrick Mahomes is the better quarterback, and it's like, if Hurts is put in that position where he's got to be like making all these throws, like can he live up to the moment? So I guess that's why I'm nervous, but that's why I love the under, because I really do think these defenses are slept on because of how good their offenses are. But I really do like the under, and I like the Eagles to win. I don't know if they I don't know if Chiefs cover. Like it's so tough. Like Adam was saying, like it's hard to put your finger on this game because it feels like it can go in so many different directions.
One thing I'll definitely say, if you have an inclination or a certain lean towards one team, bet that team's quarterback to win the MVP. If you're feeling like the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, bet Jalen Hurts to win the MVP. If you feel like the Chiefs are going to win it, bet Patrick Mahomes to win the MVP. Double down on that bet, because the chances that the quarterback wins the MVP in this one, to me, is at 99.9% for reasons that are both political, as well as these two teams their success will be defined by their quarterback. So I feel very confident about that. For that reason, I do like Jalen Hurts as a Super Bowl MVP pick, because as I mentioned a moment ago, the Butt Fumble Sports pick for this game is Eagles on the money line. So I am taking Jalen Hurts at +115 for Super Bowl MVP. For me, it's about which quarterback do I like more in terms of their team. Eagles win. I like Jalen Hurts. But much like Blease and Adam have spoken to, it's tough to bet against the Eagles not to cover at 1.5. It's tough to bet against Patrick Mahomes. This is definitely one of those moments where if you're not inclined to buy the 1.5 or buy points where you can, I highly recommend it for this game. It will benefit you ultimately, so definitely something you want to consider. One more time, if you want to get all of our picks all in one place, make sure you go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. Sign up for the free newsletter. That newsletter comes out Friday morning with all of our game picks, total plays, player prop bets, all in one place, as well as the game notes and gambling trends to go with it. So whether you want to tail us or you want to fade us, you have all the information. We do the research for you so you can make smart decisions and cash tickets come Super Bowl Sunday. Now we're going to